Welcome to a special edition of Market Pulse from Equifax, where we break down what's shaping the mortgage industry today and what happens next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our wrap-up special edition of Market Pulse podcast at MBA Annual25. It has been an awesome 3 days, and I'm here with three of my colleagues to talk about what they've heard about at MBA Annual. So we're first going to start with some brief introduction. So Ashley, I'm going to start with you. Yeah. And then tell me one thing. You're going to introduce yourselves and then tell us one thing that intrigued you the most about what you heard while you were here at the show.
Yeah. So, hi, I'm Ashley Sellers. I am the VP of Mortgage Sales. Here I lead a portion of the sales team on the mortgage side. And for me, I guess the biggest takeaway I had really was from a customer perspective. So talking to a lot of the customers, it's more of conversations centering around process flows and how do we drive some efficiencies using AI, and people are really starting to think outside the box, right? And it's just nice to see the innovation. Mortgage historically has kind of been stalled out from an innovation perspective, and so it's nice to see that coming, and that was my biggest thing.
Love it. All right, Elaina.
Hi, I'm Elaina McFarland, and I lead a team of solution sales experts on both the credit and verification side. So what that means is it's really piggybacking off of what Ashley just said. We come in and we really dive into our customers' workflows to ensure that they're using our products and services in the best spot within their milestones. And I would say my biggest takeaway, customers were so excited to meet with us this year. I think it's been really since we had day one certainty announcements that there's been a lot of interest and really questions from our clients around all the different things that are going on in the mortgage industry today around credit scores and GSE and all the uncertainty. We've had a lot of invigorating conversations.
Okay, thank you. All right, more on that, more on your two things that you commented on. All right, Bobby. Last but not least, Bobby.
Thank you. So obviously sitting very, very close to each other. I am the SVP of product on the credit side of the house. This week has honestly been awesome. There's not many opportunities that I get to sit with this many customers and partners to be able to understand what they're doing in their business and how we can ultimately help them. One of the things that I really took away was there's a real hunger and honestly a need to be more efficient. When we talk about income qualify and we work through how that can kind of help them from a process flow, you can really see some eyes light up. They even love it even more now that it's an add-on to the credit file and there's no additional cost in order to deliver those insights to them. So that was a lot of really great feedback and commentary that I had was around that. And then was also around the telco, pay TV, and utilities items. So I think there's a lot of work that we have to do there to educate them on the possibilities behind that data, but there was a lot of excitement to understand what that means for their business and how ultimately they can put it into their process flows, because to Ashley's point, the process flow has changed a lot over the last 2 or 3 years. And people are getting creative. I don't know if everybody is quite going as far as some, but you can definitely see that everybody is taking a step forward and they want to figure out a way to make it better, whether that's to streamline the process, to close faster, if that's to save cost, or to do a little bit of both. So it was really great to hear their feedback and get some time.
And I do want to add, because the one thing that I really liked this year is that you guys really were heavily involved in the customer conversations. Yeah. Because it is really what is helping us drive the innovation that's happening at Equifax, because you guys are hearing directly from the customer base and you're taking that and taking it to the next level. And so it is really arming our front sales team to really have some monumental talking points, because we have new products and it's fantastic. So thanks for being here.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a big thanks for being here.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, as I think about the voice of customer, and obviously we get a lot of that during a few days like this, but kind of the interactions that both of you have on a daily basis is really what informs what we do from a roadmap perspective. So, I would encourage you guys, as well as really hopefully the lenders that are listening, that feedback comes still to us, whether we're sitting down with you or not. So we do try to listen in every way that we can, regardless.
Don't you worry, Bobby. I have my list
and
for you.
Elena's not shy at all.
I'm sure you guys are going to load him up. And by the way,
100%.
he just told me behind the scenes that he's going to come out with 12 new innovations in
I love it.
2026.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
So, right? Like for mortgage, just FYI.
That's easy. We're going to
That's
double the
easy.
MPI. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to pivot a little bit. And I want to, you guys kind of talked about maybe the interesting thing that you're taking away. What's the most discouraging thing that you're taking away from this conference? And that's not to be negative, but like, listen, this industry has no lack of challenges, right? So talk a little bit to me about that. And so I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, that's a really, really great question. I think as I kind of chew on that a little bit, the pricing component is what really comes to mind. There has been a lot of movement and a lot of changes, but I think even more than just the pricing component is there are a lot of unanswered questions. So I know our partners and our customers, our lender customers are really looking to us for that information, and we just don't have that available to us. We still have outstanding questions, and really until we have those outstanding questions answered, it's really difficult for us to be able to paint the full picture of what pricing is going to look like and what this kind of new world is. And then, how does the new model that is, being announced by FICO impact everybody? Because,
There's been a lot of confusion around that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a lot of change, right?
Yeah, a lot of change.
That's really what it is. I mean, there's been more change historically in the last...
For an industry that hasn't
Yes.
changed in 30 years,
Right?
we're doing a lot.
Like a lot. And,
You're right.
and it's happened very quick. And so people are getting overloaded with all of this information that's flowing, and it's creating some confusion. And so, the customers are looking to us to help try to find clarity there as you take the trigger legislation that's rolling out, you take the changes from, just the credit, what changes the credit bureaus are doing to the changes that's happening in the market to the right. I mean, there's just so much happening, and they're desperately looking for help. And so we pride ourselves on trying to provide that to our customers.
I would say one of the words that I think came up most frequently in all of the meetings I had was uncertainty.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Okay.
and rumors are flying left and right, and you don't know which way is up or down. So, it'll be nice to get some stability, hopefully, over the next few weeks.
We hosted the 3 bureaus, on a podcast earlier today. And so we had Michelle from Experian, we had Satyan from TransUnion, and then, of course, Joel from Equifax. And they talked a lot about education needed, right? The uncertainty, the amount of change, going on. But we have a lot of common issues, right? And coming together has been a really great thing, right?
Yeah.
Even though we're fierce competitors out in the marketplace.
But it's not just lender confusion. It's going to drive down to consumer confusion as well. And that's really where the lenders are looking to us, right? It is outside of just in their process flow. We have lenders saying, how can you help us educate our consumers?
Right.
They're not understanding what's happening. They're looking to us to help. And how do they learn what does it mean to have a Vantage Score versus a FICO score? There's just a lot from an educational perspective, even down to the consumer level, that we could help impact.
Right. So who attended sessions while they were here?
I didn't get to as many as I wanted to. I was mostly with customers.
Okay, that's good. Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer.
I also had a lot of meetings, but I
heard 12.
12 meetings, but I wanted to make a point to visit and attend the one yesterday around credit scoring.
Okay.
And there was a lot of talk around 1B versus 3B.
Right.
And I think just even some of the information that was exchanged in that session, I know I personally was sitting next to Wendy Hanna.
Okay.
And she was all fired up about what was being said.
Yes.
So there definitely is some education that I think still needs to happen.
How when you're having the conversations with your customers, how did they feel about the 3B, 2B, or 1B, and what's their view on it?
The customers that I've been meeting with are very supportive of still having a 3B environment. I mean, their concern is valid, right? Like if I have a consumer that comes and applies with me, if I'm not pulling the same information and credit files that, lender ABC up the street is, then that puts, everybody at a disservice. So everyone that I've talked to is very supportive of continuing in a 3B environment.
I would agree with that. I would say there, the topic kind of what we hit on earlier was process flow, right? So lenders are looking more from a perspective of, where in the funnel stage is the right product from a credit perspective, whether it's a 1B soft pull to a 3B on the back end, right? But the end result still is flowing to a 3B. I have not spoken to a customer where the end result didn't end with a 3B. Yeah. There's just too much uncertainty around the risk, and so there's just more assessment they're looking to do before they will make a leap like that, is what I've heard.
Yeah, I had kind of the same interactions. I mean, as I sat down with people, pulling a 1B gives them a little uncertainty when they're going to quote the customer, and they do not want to be put in a bad situation or eventually maybe lose the deal to somebody else if they go shopping and they are with the bureau that is the best score. And then they also want to be able to have kind of the view of the middle score as far up front as they can, so that again they can go back to that pricing and really make sure that
and then I'd say the other topic that hit on a lot was what I spoke on earlier, which was the trigger bill, right? So there was a lot of conversations around the trigger bill and what can we do, how do we go about finding alternative ways to get to consumers now that this law is going into place. And then there were those customers asking that questions, and then there were customers also asking around what does this mean? How, when is it going to be implemented? So there's a lot of conversation around that as well. So
well, and I think too, all of the soft pull products that Bobby has been awesome in bringing to market for Equifax today.
Yes.
It's
many new flavors coming. Yes.
Right? Exactly. I think even with the new trigger law, I think we brought those to market not necessarily to help customers. I mean, I think it was an offshoot of helping customers around triggers, but it really is to do the consumer a service and allowing them to shop and get competitive rates without having an impact to their score. And I think that will continue.
I agree.
Very important. I mean, I heard the same thing. Lenders are very conscious of making sure they're not doing anything to hurt the relationship of the person.
Particularly because you're talking about a purchase market, right? We're still in a purchase market, and that matters to consumers. And so particularly builders have a requirement, a lot of builders have a requirement that they want a soft pull up front.
All right, so what's your one recommendation for your customer, either a lender? I know we have lenders here that we work with directly. We also have a lot of partners, very important partners that we work with. What's your one recommendation after MBA 2025 to focus on? What would be that one recommendation?
Oh my gosh, I have so many customers really that have already started with our dual processing capability where they can start looking and taking in Vantage on their origination pipeline. But so many customers were not aware that we could do that and are very interested in getting it set up as quickly as possible. So that certainly is something that I will be helping ensure that we are getting those scores available and out there to our customers so they can start doing that analysis.
Great.
Yeah, I would agree with Elaina there. I think that was the number one. There's just a lot of unknown between the differences between the two scores. And so that was the number one ask pretty much predominantly in the meetings was how can we assess our risk between the two so we can make the best educated decision.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
That would be my biggest as well.
All right, love it.
I'd say for me, we have rolled out quite a few products over the last few months. If you talk about the indicator to income qualified to dual processing, we're going to continue to do that. So one of the things that we're obviously leaning in very heavily into is the Vantage Score so that we can give insights and we can give data to lenders so they can understand, where it will help their business and what opportunities were possibly missed because they used one score and could have partnered with another. So we are going to, over the next 6 months, kind of come out with iterations to make sure that we are giving things to them to help understand kind of what is there. So just an openness to, have continual feedback and forth with the account executives and their sales reps so that they can, kind of get the latest and the greatest. And, obviously from a product perspective, we're happy to jump on and talk about some of those gaps if they have any needs.
And I think that's an important point is the whole reason we activated What Happens Next is we're here to listen. We're here to have a conversation with our customers, with our partners at the end of the day. And we want that to continue. That's not going to end here at MBA Annual. It's going to continue. All right, anything, last commentary? Anyone?
For me, it would just be, for any of the lenders out there that are listening to the podcast, we are here to help, right? And so please reach out. We have a variety of products that can help you guys really, drive efficiency and cost savings within your process model. And so, we're just a phone call away. We're happy to come into your office and walk through your process flows and help you understand what product fits where. So just at any point in time, reach out to us. We're here.
All right. Anyone else?
No, Ashley and I both did speaking engagements last week.
Yes.
So not only from a lender perspective, but the different local MBA chapters, anybody that is looking for more information, we are here to help.
We are.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank everyone for tuning in and listening. And I want to thank our customers and our partners for engaging. And again, really talking about what happens next in mortgage, because we know there's no shortage of excitement and things that are going to change even after we leave. So thank you for joining this special edition of Market Pulse at MBA Annual. Peace out.
The information and opinions provided in this podcast are intended as general guidance only and are subject to change without notice. The views presented during the podcast are those of the presenter as of the date this podcast was recorded and do not necessarily reflect official positions of Equifax. Investor analysts should direct inquiries using the Contact Us box on the Investor Relations section at Equifax.com.